lives confused, chasing love, validation, and happiness from women, only to end up heartbroken, used, or trapped. But 200 years ago, a philosopher named Arthur Schopenhauer exposed the raw truth about female nature. Truth so brutal, most men refuse to accept them. By the end of this, you'll see exactly where you've been deceived and how to finally take back control. So pay attention, because what you're about to hear isn't just controversial. It's the missing key most men will never grasp. Schopenhauer didn't believe in fairy tales. He saw love for what it really is. Not a spiritual bond, not destiny, but a biological trick. A ruthless illusion designed by nature for one purpose. Designed by nature for one purpose: reproduction. Here's the uncomfortable truth. When you feel that electric attraction, that obsessive desire, that conviction that she's the one, your brain isn't connecting with her soul. It's calculating, subconsciously assessing fertility, genetic compatibility, survival advantages. And women? Their attraction works the same way, just with different priorities. Schopenhauer wrote, "Love is the ultimate goal of almost all human effort. It is more important than anything else in life." But he didn't mean that romantically. He meant it as a trap, a fleeting chemical high that fades the moment it serves its purpose. Think about it. How many men have destroyed themselves for a woman who later walked away without a second thought? How many marriages crumble once the passion evaporates? That's not coincidence. It's nature's design. Women don't choose men based on fairness, loyalty, or even logic. They follow an ancient selection program, hardwired to seek status, security, and genetic superiority. A man's devotion means nothing if he can't provide these. Schopenhauer saw this clearly. Women are rarely guided by reason. They are ruled by instinct and emotion. This isn't misogyny, it's observation. Look at dating apps, where 80% of women compete for the top 20% of men. Look at divorce courts, where commitment is rewarded with financial ruin. Look at history, where kings died for mistresses who betrayed them. The path who serve and those who are served. The beta male exhausts himself trying to prove his worth. The alpha commands worth effortlessly. One begs for loyalty. The other inspires obsession. You see this everywhere. The office worker who sacrifices his health for a promotion, hoping it'll make his wife respect him again. The gym rat who transforms his body, only to realize women now want him, but only for sex, not commitment. The simp who spends his paycheck on a girl who'll ghost him the second a higher status man appears. These men aren't victims, they're volunteers. But Schopenhauer didn't just diagnose the problem, he revealed the solution. The first rule of survival is to see the world as it is, not as you wish it to be. The man who thrives today isn't the one who clings to outdated romanticism. It's the one who masters the game. And the final truth? The game is rigged, but only if you're playing by the wrong rules. This is where most men give up, because the next truth is the hardest to swallow. It's not about women, it's about you. And the moment you face it, everything changes. Schopenhauer uncovered a disturbing truth that modern psychology now confirms. Women don't compete like men. They don't challenge you directly. They don't flex their power where you can see it. Their greatest weapon is invisible, instinctive, and devastatingly effective: emotional influence. While men fight with fists or logic, women wage war through perception. They don't conquer. They manipulate reality itself. Consider this. When a man wants something, he demands it. When a woman wants something, she makes you believe it was your idea. Schopenhauer saw this clearly. Women are adapted to a sedentary life by their lack of physical strength, and to the care of children by their natural inclination. Hence, they live more in the present than men. But this present moment focus gives them a dangerous advantage. They read micro-expressions, tone shifts, and social dynamics with near supernatural accuracy. A man thinks he's having a conversation. A woman is conducting an interrogation. Modern men believe they're in control of their relationships. They're wrong. From the first date to the divorce papers, most men fail without realizing it. The compliance test: how quickly you rearrange your schedule for her. The frame test: whether you stand your ground or cave to her emotions. The investment test: if you chase more than she does. Schopenhauer warned, women are instinctively crafty and have an innate talent for deception. This isn't evil. It's evolutionary programming. In a world where physical strength didn't secure survival, emotional intelligence became the ultimate currency. The woman who couldn't navigate male psychology didn't pass on her genes. Here's where modern men walk blindly into the trap. They confuse a woman's attention for genuine interest. But Schopenhauer revealed the dark reality. Women are most drawn to men who don't need them. The moment you make a woman your purpose is the moment she loses respect for you. This explains why nice guys finish last, sacrifice their ambitions, why women pursue emotionally unavailable men. It's not that women want to be treated poorly. They're biologically wired to seek men of higher value. And nothing destroys perceived value faster than neediness. Every interaction with a woman contains an unspoken power struggle. Most men lose before they realize the battle began. She cries to avoid accountability. She withholds affection to train compliance. She flirts with others to test your confidence. Schopenhauer called this the tyranny of the weak. Women leverage their perceived vulnerability to control stronger adversaries. A man who falls for it becomes a slave. A man who recognizes it, he becomes unstoppable. But there's hope. Schopenhauer's most liberating truth is this: the first step to freedom is seeing the chains. Once you understand female nature isn't personal, it's biological, you stop taking it personally. You stop begging for loyalty and start inspiring it. The final lesson: the most dangerous lies aren't the ones women tell men. They're the ones men tell themselves. Schopenhauer's most devastating revelation wasn't about women. It was about the cold, unflinching reality of human nature itself. After exposing the brutal truths of attraction and power dynamics, he offered something far more valuable: the path to liberation. This isn't about defeating women. It's about transcending the game entirely. Modern men make one fatal error. They believe happiness comes from female validation. Schopenhauer saw through this illusion. The happiness which we receive from ourselves is greater than that which we obtain from our surroundings. The men who thrive aren't those who conquer women, but those who conquer themselves. They develop a purpose so consuming, so intrinsically rewarding, that female attention becomes a pleasant bonus rather than a life or death necessity. History's most remarkable men, the artists, the inventors, the warriors, weren't distracted by the chase of unshakable masculinity. 1. Schopenhauer warned that money is human happiness in the abstract, not for what it buys, but for the freedom it secures. The man who controls his finances controls his fate. 2. Philosophical depth. Most men live on autopilot. The exceptional man cultivates a mind sharp enough to cut through societal lies. He reads, debates, and thinks for himself. 3. Physical mastery. The body isn't just a tool for attraction. It's the vessel of your will. Weakness here breeds weakness everywhere. Here's where Schopenhauer's wisdom becomes revolutionary. The safest way of not being very miserable is not to expect to be very happy. This isn't pessimism. It's emotional armor. The modern man who stops begging for love, approval, or fairness suddenly finds these things come to him. Why? Because he's removed himself from the desperate masses. He's become the prize. The battle between men and women isn't personal. It's biological theater playing out across millennia. The man who wakes up to this stops blaming and starts evolving. He doesn't resent female nature. He adapts to it. He builds a life so compelling that women must either meet his standards or watch from the sidelines. Schopenhauer's ultimate lesson? We forfeit 3/4 of ourselves in order to be like other people. The choice is yours. Continue chasing illusions or step into your true power. The red pill isn't about hating women. It's about loving truth enough to rebuild yourself in its image. This is where your real life begins.
See the video going around of the girl who friends threw her a surprise baby shower and jumped her at her baby shower. Beat the girl so bad that she lost her baby. Every friend that was at the baby shower was in on the plot to jump the girl. They threw her a surprise baby shower at a location. They had her go there. When I said the video, the girl was having a ball. So happy about it. And when it was time to go, they wouldn't open the car doors. And they all jumped this girl. And her baby passed away. When I tell y'all, not one person intervened, not one person broke it up, not one person said, oh no, this isn't right. When I tell you my heart goes out to this girl, and the games that people play. When I tell you, the amount of hatred.
Listen, so that's really the end of the video. Listen, I didn't hear about this story before this. When I hear stuff like this, it further emphasizes how the sisterhood is fake and it's not real and it can't be trusted. You know, there are a lot of women who complain about men and talk about how men are so horrible and so hard and this and that. But there are a lot of women out here who you cannot trust. They cannot be trusted. They are not your real friends. I don't know how many times I've seen this in real life and on social media. Women who say that, oh, the sisterhood, you know, we got to stick together and women got to do this and the men are our enemies, when the very person who's telling you that could be your very enemy. This is why you have to be careful about the people that you select and the people that you hang around with and the people who you consider your friends. Because everybody who seems nice and friendly to you and seem like they're happy for your success, they're really not. They will collectively get together, just like in this unfortunate situation, and get together because they don't like you. They secretly hate you. They secretly want your life. They don't like the progress that you're making, and then they'll turn around and sabotage everything that they hate about you. But while smiling in your face and pretending to be your friend and, girl, yeah, it is, girl. You so beautiful, girl. I'm so excited for you. But be the very ones plotting your demise. And like she said, in this particular situation, they set up the whole thing for her, and it seems like a nice gesture, something that friends would do. They're happy for you, but all the while they're pissed off. They're mad at this girl's life, and you're gonna jump this woman while pregnant. And I hope they find every last one of them, because I'm not sure if they went to jail or what happened, but they should be charged. Because you took a life and attempted to take another life. You attempted her and the life of her child, her unborn child. And that's sad. Now she got to live with the fact that they took her child away. But and on top of that, these were people who you called your friends. And people question me when I say, hey, I don't have a whole bunch of girlfriends. Why? Because I understand the nature of women and how catty and how dangerous they could be. And I don't want to be in a situation where it's between you or me, because at the end, it's going to be you. And I don't want to have to be put in that position to have to, argue and fight with individuals because they don't like your life or they secretly hate you. Who has time for that at this big age? But there are a lot of women who go through, there are many examples of this very same thing happening in one way, shape, or form, where women who are supposed to be your friends turn on you. Either it helped to end your life or, do things that could try to set you up or get you into trouble because they're jealous and they wish they had what you had. This is why I say these women and this sisterhood is not what it's all cracked up to be. A lot of these women don't like you. I already know women don't get along. I mean, I've seen it on jobs, different places. They're always at each other. Oh, she thinks she too much. Oh, I don't like the way she look. I don't like the way she talk. Oh, this be that.
9 tablets of 100 milligrams.
Oh, this be that. This is the nature of a lot of women. As long as y'all are in the trenches together and, y'all are on the same even playing field, it's all good. You ain't no better than her. She's no better than you. But soon as now the other one is pissed and mad and jealous, and you want to bring her back down to your level. They hate to see it, so they want to keep everybody on the same playing field. Let's all stay here at the bottom. Let's all stay here together. This is why I say, look, I don't trust the sisterhood. I don't trust a bunch of women who, have that sisterhood mentality and like, oh, girl, yeah, we all we got, and we got to stick together. To hell with that. No, we ain't all we got. Nah, I don't trust them, because I know how women think and I know how they are. And not saying that you can't have good friends, because there are people who've been in friendships with people for years and they're perfectly fine, but it's rare in my opinion. I think the majority of these so-called friends are not really to be trusted, and they're not really your friends. And I've seen too many examples of this. That's why I am the way I am. I don't fool with too many women, because I know women are catty. If you see another woman coming up and doing better than you or challenging your position or something like that, oh baby, the claws come out. There's no real true sisterhood in my opinion, or loyalty amongst a bunch of women. I think that it's possible where one or two women are just that way and they're there for each other, and that's really what it is. But for the majority of women, I don't think that there's any loyalty and trust amongst them. You're only good for them as long as you're beneath them. The minute you start to get somewhere or start to accomplish things, somebody's going to be mad. And then you notice the friendship changes because they don't like the position that you're in. It bothers them. So I'm not surprised, but it's unfortunate that this young lady lost her baby and she had to go through this. Now she has to heal. And it's just unfortunate and it's sad. But then I bet there's no accountability on their parts of why you would do that to a pregnant woman. They all need to be under the jail. But these situations happen all the time. And you don't hear this. You don't hear women coming out in droves saying this is horrible. Oh, these women need to be under the jail. Like there's much more emphasis when a man does something crazy, especially towards a woman. Oh, lock him up, throw away the key. But when women do it to women, I don't hear throw him in the jail, lock the key, throw them under the jail, throw away the key. Now I saw some, but it's not the same if a man does this type of thing. There's no logical explanation for what they did to this young woman. They need to be thrown under the jail and the key needs to be locked away. But we don't hear a bunch of women talking about that. You don't hear women telling them crucify them, but y'all want to crucify men, but you don't hold the women accountable for this tragic situation. The sisterhood is full of shit because y'all should be out here protesting that. Why would all these women jump this woman and cause her to lose her child and cause her to lose her life too? And I don't hear this. I don't hear this story all over social media. I don't hear it. So we gotta do better because this is why I say, listen, these women need to be held to the same strict accountability as men are held. Y'all need to be held accountable just as much as the men are because this is behavior. This is not good. That lady could have lost. They already took her child away, and she could have lost her life as well. But if y'all care so much about women, why this story isn't plastered all over social media where people can protest and make sure every person that contributed to the assaulted her and made her lose her child, there should be protests of catching every last one of them and locking them up if not already. So I just don't believe that women care about each other as much as they claim they do. It's all a selfish act. If you're selfish in any other aspect, you're selfish when it comes to other women as well. You want what you want, and if a woman gets in your way or she's doing something that you don't like because you're selfish, yeah, I think they're not exempt. And this incident shows you, child. But baby, listen, y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments. I definitely want to hear what y'all got to say on this one, child. Comment, like, subscribe to the channel, hit that bell. Y'all know what it is, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye.
So I want to talk about the incident where you got into an altercation.
It was one guy who walked up to me as I was doing a lecture, and he was asking me questions. So I was answering his questions to the point of where he really had no pushback because I answered everything he said. So he ends it and says, you know what? I don't care. I don't give a. He said, I just don't like you talking about black women. I ain't going to stand for it.
Okay.
And so at that point, I said, you know what? I got something to do. You have a nice day. And as I turned around, he apparently punched me in the back of the head. I was this close from being killed. There was a guy about four rows of people behind me with a blade about this long, trying to inch closer to me to stab me. All over my words.
Wasn't that a little bit of a wake-up call? Like, maybe I'm really starting to piss people off. Is your opinion really worth dying for?
If I was just some clown and the things I was saying was just clownish, you think people would be trying to kill me? You speak any kind of truth in the world, you will be faced with opposition.
Honestly been pondering on actually for a few years now. I remember what the Bible said about women and like the evil spirit, what the Bible says about the Jezebel spirit and, things I see that women do, things I know and heard that women do. The paternity issue, how these women lay next to a man for years, looking a kid in the eyes for years, knowing there's no relation. How good men get stomped out.
Hold on. Let's stop there. I promise you, I'm going to rewind it. I'm going to play it in its entirety, and then we're going to go ahead and comment after that. But one thing that she said is absolutely diabolical, and it's a lot of women. We don't like to have this conversation. It's almost taboo, especially in certain communities, but there are a lot. And when I say a lot, there are a lot of y'all that don't even know who your real father is, and you grew up and you still probably believed that the man that raised you is your real father, and he don't even know that he's not your real father. There are a ton of mothers, grandmothers, great-grandmothers, and so on and so forth who have children by men that they then told the man that they was with that they are with, that is completely diabolical. And to speak to her point, are women evil? Are women purely evil? That's a hard case. If so many good women, and trust me, it's a lot of women that went to the grave with it, you'll never know. You'll never even know. Some of y'all believe that your father is one thing and you are a completely different kid. And it's a lot of guys that knew, had an inkling of it, and then loved her anyway. And I believe that men love much harder, much more fervently than women. It's a lot of people that have children, and for women to sleep with multiple different men and then get pregnant and then live with that for the rest of their life, you have to have something in you to hold that in. You know how stuff eat at you and it bothers you, and eventually you got to come forward with it and you have to clean up yourself, ask for forgiveness. Man, think about how many people and how many lineages is not even really the lineage of the person that they think that they are, and your DNA and your IQ and everything around it, and you were completely different than the person that she supposedly had a child with or married. That is a truly diabolical act, and very few people, let me not even say very few people, I'm not even sure that I know any men in real life that would be capable of dying with that lie. I mean, going down with the lie and dying with the lie in the workplace environment is one thing. When it comes to doing crime, that's another thing. But when you're talking about having a child and then having a man think that a child is his, there's a lot of women that will finesse the child support and family court laws in order to get the thing that's best, put men on the birth certificate knowing it's not his. I've seen cases and court cases of women that knew that the child wasn't his and was still going for child support, making his man pay for a child that's not his, refused to take accountability for it. And of course, I'm not saying that all women did it. Obviously, that goes without saying. But the fact of the matter is there is a large demographic of women that lean into this, and it is absolutely positively diabolical. You got to be a different type of person to punish a kid, for example, because you don't necessarily care about, or you bitter about the fact that you're no longer with the child's father, or keep a man from his kid and stuff. And these are some of the biggest examples as to why men want to update and redo family court laws that was established at a time that women didn't have as many options, and then men got taken to school and they got threw in jail because of certain things. And I seen a guy go to jail for back child support for a child that was paternity proven that it wasn't his kid. Like, you have to be a diabolical person